you are thinking of starting a home renovation or an extension and you are feeling overwhelmed and confused, then fear not, because today I'm interviewing Mike Sandhu from SC Architecture, and he's going to take us through the process so that it's smooth and stress-free.
I'll try.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome to Milesh and Sadie Property Talks, where we combine strategy and design for the ultimate success in property. Now, today, Milesh is actually being replaced by the very talented Mike Sandhu, who is here to guide us through our architectural journey. So welcome, Mike. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me.
Would you mind by starting just sort of explaining who you are, what you do, sorts of properties that you work on?
Okay, so Mike Sandhu, part of SC Architecture. We're an architectural practice based in the South Coast, covering all aspects of architecture, from one-off residential homes to working with developers.
Brilliant. Quite short, so in a nutshell.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Lovely. We have obviously listeners who are either they're developers or they're also working on their own properties. It's maybe more of a personal journey. If somebody has got a property and they're unsure as to whether they need an architect, when should they approach you?
Straight away. As soon as you're looking at buying or as a development or thinking of doing an extension, straight away.
Okay, interesting. And so what are the sorts of properties that do need some architectural requirements?
So now, what kind of property needs an architectural requirement? It could be anything, really. It all depends on what you're aiming or trying to achieve to do. If you're looking to extend the property, you're going to need somebody to do some architectural design work for you.
Okay. If it's not extended, but we're going to be knocking down internal walls?
You still need, don't have to, but it's someone to put your vision onto paper.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just, architects trained for 7 years plus, it's for a reason to make you think outside the box. You may not actually need to knock down walls as you think you do to achieve the space requirements you're after.
Okay. And if someone's unsure as to whether they can extend, are you able to sort of give someone a heads up? Yeah, it looks like that's going to be possible or not.
Yeah. So obviously we don't control planning,
no,
but we can guide you through planning and highlight risks and potential pitfalls for you and try and come up with a scheme that's going to be favourable.
Okay. But with that, planning is quite a costly and time-consuming thing to go down. Is there a way of kind of checking in and saying, like, this is what I want to do? Do you think it's likely that we'll get something like this through?
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, a phone call, and now with Google Maps, it's quite easy just to look at people's properties, and obviously we can discuss other routes like permitted development. You may have permitted development rights to extend your property, so there are other options.
And as you've just brought up permitted development, can you just talk our listeners through the difference between PD and going for a full-scale planning permission?
Okay, so in a nutshell, PD, permitted development, is you're informing the local authority that you're going to do works to your property because your property falls under certain criteria. Okay. And then planning permission is you're asking the local authority if you can do the work.
Ah, I see. So PD, you're basically, no, this is what I'm doing, you just got to suck it up. And planning, you're like, actually, please let me.
Yeah, so PD was originally brought in to speed up the process of planning because planning is potentially 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah. Interestingly. And is there a difference in cost? Is one cheaper than the other?
From an architectural point of view, no, because you still need the drawings and need to submit them. But what you're doing is with PD, you still apply for a lawful development certificate, so you're still making an application. But it's time. That's what you're saving. Okay. It's quicker.
And if you're trying to flip a property, then time is everything. So really, if you can find a property that's got you can do PD rather than full planning, that's going to really help.
It is massively.
Okay. Let's just say we've established that we are going to need an architect. What's the process? Like what does it look like to work with you through the journey of renovating?
Okay. So we will help you put your ideas onto paper, really.
Okay.
From feasibility to planning, drawings, detailed design, holding your hand through building regs. Literally, the idea is that we want to give you confidence that you can send your drawings out to a number of contractors and get sensible prices back.
Okay.
Detailed quotes, really.
So just sort of unpacking that a bit. The first bit is the drawings and getting it ready for either PD or for planning.
Correct.
Okay. And then whilst you're getting that ready, if it's PD, can you then move on straight away?
You can.
Okay.
You can. Everything's always at a risk, client's risk, but potentially you're in a stronger position to move on to building reg drawings, yes.
Okay. And then explain building regs drawings in case anyone's not familiar.
Okay, so building control drawings is where you're showing the local authority that you're going to build, the work you're planning to do is going to meet the minimum safety standards.
Ah, right. Okay.
So anything structural,
yeah,
and anything to do with drainage on a domestic property will need building control.
So structural is foundations, walls, roofs, the steels, all of that.
Yes.
Do things like lighting, electrics, heatings come under?
So that's all on a domestic property. It can all be self-certified.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
So by a plumber or an electrician. So
yeah.
It doesn't need to. But if you're doing a major renovation, you're doing structural work, you're better off just capturing it in one application.
Okay, fine. Good to know. It's really quite challenging for people to choose the professionals that they're going to bring in for a renovation project. What do you think are the things people should be looking for if they're selecting an architectural firm to work with?
So an architectural firm, someone who's been there, done it. And, you know, they've got evidence on their website. It's very easy for architects and practices to put up conceptual drawings, but it's actually showing you someone who's going to open their black book and share it with you as a client.
Yeah.
Because you want a win-win, really.
Yeah, sure. And do you think style is important? Like if an architect's got a certain style with how they design buildings, or should it be that an architect can design anything?
In my opinion, an architect should be able to design anything. You will get some practices that are trying to enforce a style on you, but you've got to look at the project. If it is a development, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Is it the client's home? Or are they designing, building, renovating for profit?
Yeah, sure. And that obviously has an impact on how far you're going to go with the design, because if it's a private home, then sort of fine, go for gold, you know. But if it's for development, then actually how much money and how big or extension or how much you're going to throw into it.
For a development, you've got to understand your demographic. Who is the end goal for? You know, ultimately you're trying to do this for as little money as possible to achieve the most money as possible.
Yeah. And any extension costs quite a significant chunk of money. So what do you feel about if somebody just wants to sort of add on like a small side return? Is it worth it? Or should we just walk away from that and only do it if it's a sizable extension?
Not really. It all depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
So if it unlocks opening the house up to create an additional room for a HMO, then it's worth doing.
That's interesting. Okay, that's true. And it's obviously really expensive, construction, extending, renovating. Can an architect save money? Or is that like, no, it's just how it's going to go?
What do you mean by how can an architect save?
Well, how can an architect save money on a project? Is there ways that you can advise a client as to how best to extend or renovate?
Yeah, so we can help you value engineer.
Okay.
But ultimately, it comes down to the client, what you deem as profitable.
Yeah.
What's more important to you? Is it high-end kitchens and your rentals or doing the extension?
Okay.
And again, it goes back to demographic, because if you've got, for argument's sake, student lets, is it worth putting high-end kitchens in?
Yeah, that's true. So if a client comes to you and they say, this is the money that we've got to invest, you'll be able to sort of work backwards with them.
With all clients, we'll try and unpick it as much as possible and try and refine that brief as much as possible. Ultimately, clients will come in with an idea. It's for the architect to unpick it and actually hone in on that brief and design what they think they need.
And has anybody ever come up with an idea which you thought is totally dreadful, and what do you do in this situation?
I'm quite blunt, I would tell it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to, and clients thank you afterwards, although, client's prerogative, it's their money.
Yes.
But as long as you can say that this isn't a great idea and have that conversation, architecture is a people's business. You have to be able to get on with your clients.
Yeah, same as interior design, 100%. You obviously work with a mix of residential and commercial. Have you got a preference? Which one you prefer being in?
I think variety. I think in our practice we like both.
Yeah.
We like to have a variety in the office. It just keeps things fresh and everybody happy.
Okay, good to know. when you're working on a larger project, there's obviously quite a lot of different players in the team. So you've got yourselves, you've got contractor, interior designer, sometimes garden designer, structural engineer. How do you find managing a sort of or working alongside a big team of people?
So traditionally, the architect's usually the head of the design team. Somebody has to coordinate everything,
Yeah.
and it usually falls on our shoulders. So we're quite comfortable with that, with very large teams and small teams. But
Yeah.
it's just, it's a process. Everybody's working off the architect's base drawings.
Yes, yeah, 100%. And what does it look like for an external, if it's an external client, do you like the client to be heavily involved as well? Or are you happy for it just to be the team and then you just check in at sort of...
We tend to have like design team meetings with the
Yeah.
client present. There's always going to be decisions and compromises to be made, and it's the client's call to make those. And all we can do is highlight the risks and pitfalls and savings potentially if we take compromises.
Yeah. Have you worked with any dreadful teams?
No, never. Yeah, we're an ISO 9001 practice, so we score all our contractors.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, I think everyone will want to hear about that. Talk us through that.
Oh, well, so in-house, we do score everybody we work with.
Okay.
Just for future reference.
Oh my God, terrifying. We're working together. I've obviously got a score somewhere in this office I didn't even know about.
You will do eventually.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Okay, so you score them, but then you're not sort of sharing that score. Is that just so that you know?
It's in-house. Yeah, it's in-house.
Okay.
So, and it also shows that we're checking people that we're working with.
Okay.
Do they align with our values?
And if they don't, then that's it. Their acts going forward.
Well, potentially, yes.
God, this is it. I'm gone. What do you do if you've got a challenging situation with either a contractor or just another one of the team? How do you manage that?
Diplomatically.
Okay.
Ultimately, we're there. Even if it's one of the team, we're there for the end goal, the client.
Yeah.
We've got to deliver.
Yeah. It's really tricky. I always think you really want a great collaborative team who are all trying to achieve that. And actually, one of the things I find really tricky is when you've got one who just wants to constantly just go back to the client directly rather than communicating with the team as well.
Yeah. So 9 times out of 10 teams we work with, we're head of the design team. So everybody feeds into us.
Yes.
And then it's for us to raise at design team meetings what's right, what's wrong, what we need discussed, and what questions we need answered.
Yeah, 100%. What else was I going to say? Construction fees are high, and obviously the more professionals that you bring onto a project, the more professional fees you've got. Do you think that's valuable? Do you think it's valuable to invest in professional fees? That's often a thing we hear, but our projects are so much, I really can't afford to bring on extra people.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Your home, your property, if it's your business, is your investment.
Yeah.
You wouldn't skimp on your accountants or solicitors' fees.
No, that's a good point. That's true. Okay, lovely. And just lastly, we talk a lot about space planning. What do you think do you think space planning has an importance in the layout of a design and the success of an overall design?
100%. So as architects, we can provide the space, but how people live in it, interior designers, space planners will work that out.
Yeah.
With you, where I think one of the key things is when you go into your home, where do you drop your keys off?
Yeah, it's true.
In 100%. The hallway, nobody really thinks about that. There's no point designing stuff if there's no function to that room.
No. We were talking a lot about the fact that you don't waste a space, and there has to be a journey as you move through a building as to what you're going to do in each space and how you want to feel.
Yeah.
So good. I'm glad that as an architect you also agree, because that would be really dangerous otherwise. Lovely. Well, I think we are going to leave it there. So a huge thank you to Mike for sharing such valuable tips today with us. If you're planning a renovation or a reconfiguration or an extension, then I hope this conversation has helped you feel informed and more confident. And if you have liked this episode, then don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with anybody who's about to start a renovation. And next week we will be back, Milesh and Sadie Property Talks, where we're going to be discussing the property deal breakers. So we'll see you there.